morning, everybody. I'm Evelyn Thoren. I am your host for the next couple of hours. We're on the dawn patrol. He's adjusting our wonderful cameras that we have here. And my co-host, Sam Chase and Bob Hoey. Thanks, guys, for being here extra special early. We'll figure out what we're going to talk about shortly. Unlike Cliff, I usually don't have an agenda. And I usually have articles and stuff, but there's so much stuff that we end up, talking about that there's no reason necessarily sometimes to, try to control exactly what the topics are that we're going to talk about. We were talking about earlier that I drove down last night from our house in New Hampshire to be here this morning because we haven't been on for 3 weeks live. We'll put live in quotes because obviously we're recording this. And I'm headed back up again, only because we have some construction, and then I'll head back tomorrow. Because I have some grandchildren I have to watch for a couple of days, and then I have a whole bunch of stuff going on next week, so things never end.
They change, though. They change. Things
well,
change.
I don't know. At this time of the year, it's not quite changed.
Well,
because
I've lost
kids
6 pounds because I haven't been around you in about 3 weeks. Because everything I take home, I always eat.
No baked goods, huh?
No, but
I didn't bake. I was too tired by the time I got home last night. It was like 8 o'clock. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't bake. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
funny.
No, I do enjoy sitting between you two. I always have. A couple, maybe close to a couple of years, I think, right?
At
I'm not
least.
sure. But I see recently in Chelmsford, they seem to be coming alive on local TV. I've caught Chasing the Facts commercial. They have you in one.
Yep.
There's like 3 or 4 different programs that what's the name for it, Sam? The TV, like we.
What, Chelmsford Telemedia?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chelmsford Telemedia.
Chelmsford Telemedia, right.
I think that's what I was really impressed with, the work that they're doing, advertising all the things that they have on their TV.
They've come a long way. I mean,
Yeah.
when they started years ago, it was pretty rinky-dink, but now you watch a telemedia production, and it's as good as you see on local, Boston
They do
TV.
news. The girl does news.
Diane, yeah, she.
Oh, the lady.
And so the people are very professional, and the head of the CTM is Pete Padula, who is very professional, has an awful lot of background in the media, management and so on and so forth. So they've got some good production people on that show, or on the in telemedia. So you get good quality production. And I read something not too long ago, I forget where it was, but they said that the televising of the town meeting and the meetings, the board meetings, the telemedia was one of the better outlets in the state that does that for quality, and I agree with that. I mean, they do a nice job.
Well, they've always tried to record things and have things live, but because
Right.
of the technology, it has become better quality and a lot easier for them to be in more than one place at a time.
And they've kept up with the technology. I mean, as new things develop and the quality of the equipment gets better and so forth, they've kept up with that. So one of the things they really do, I think, a real nice job is the 4th of July. They start with the Carson Road race and they do the entire parade. So if you don't feel like going to the 4th of July parade, you can watch the whole thing on TV. They do a live shoot, and then, of course, as Evelyn says, it's recorded, and you can watch it later, which is what I do because I'm on the parade committee and I work the parade, so I don't get to see it, all right? Yeah. And so usually that night, we'll go home, my wife and I, and we'll watch it. So,
I think that's when I caught it, Sam.
Yeah.
The commercial that they had out, I think I caught it around the 4:30 to 5:30 time zone. Because I normally don't watch local TV, Channel 8, when I'm home. Mm-hmm. I mostly watch Fox or Discovery, those 2 things I watch.
Well, so you have...
But the real key of this show, and you know me, I always talk about views and who has the best show. And,
I know. Yeah, well, somebody got to keep track of it.
The key, though, to that is like what Evelyn does, like this young man, John Moses, coming on at 7. It's all about that. Because Tuesdays, I have the most views almost all the time. I'm not trying to brag, but it is true, especially when...
But you have a following.
No, but I think when we had Ned Tommy is, I don't know how to say it, politically most connected guy I ever seen. He knows everybody and he knows your grandmother. He knows everybody. And that hurts when you lose a person like that on your show. It hurts. Because when we get Eric Gitcha, nobody can come close to us. We get over 1,000 views, close to 2,000 views when he's on. Same thing with John Zimini and Draken. And John Moses right now, I guarantee you can have him keep coming. He'll make your show, because last time he was here, I thought him and John they were beautiful
well, wait till
together.
today.
They were beautiful. Though.
What
That's
he
what
did
I
was
want to see.
He tagged Sam and myself on Facebook for an article, and I've been following up with that article. And then there was different other ones because I've been accessing it. And one of the things that I tried to explain to him is whether you voted for Trump or not does not necessarily mean that you agree with the person 100%, because I don't agree with everybody 100%. There are differences of opinions and different views and approaches to things, and we're individuals, at least so far in this country. So there's no blind leading the blind, as the saying goes. We're objective, and we do our research, and if we don't like something, we're looking at alternatives so that we're educated enough in the topic that we can formulate our own opinion and observations about whatever that issue might be. And hopefully I haven't double spoke or said something like the word salad thing with all that information. So anyway, so be prepared. He's going to bring up a lot of stuff about the immigration stuff, and I did send to John the picture of the award that they got from one of the Asian nonprofits, and his nonprofit. So and that's good. And then there's a few other things out there. Vivian Merrill will be with us on the 31st, and we do have a candidate for city council next week. On the Thursday, and then that will bring us into August. And I know one.
Lang, I think.
Yeah, I
Who?
know. I know.
Cindy Lang.
Oh,
I know one of the Thursdays before. I think it's a Thursday before school starts. Jay Lang is scheduled.
we're starting before Labor Day this year?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
You
Which
know
is
who I'd
smart.
like to see from Sam, if you could get him, is Cataldo, is that how you say his
Simon.
name?
Simon.
We had him once. I'd love to
Yeah, I
have
can
him
get him,
for a
I'll get him,
second.
I can get him back.
That'd be great.
Well, anytime I've asked, I mean, I haven't done that within the last year. I did ask when he had his third child. Now he's had 4. So I think he's got 4 boys.
All you need to do is
What,
keep
is it
Jay
3
Lane
boys,
coming
1?
every now and then, too. That's another big one. It really is.
Well,
I
yes,
shouldn't
and
be
Paul
telling you
Cohen's coming.
these things, because I
Paul
would like
Cohen
that.
is scheduled for September, too.
Oh,
No,
great,
you can
Paul
tell me
Cohen. No.
if you want me to have people come back. I know that Maria Santos is a little leery about coming simply because of all the immigration stuff in her positions. And I said, well, we can talk about school committee stuff, and I can give you all the questions in advance, and we stay to a script, just to get people in, because they can, certain topics,
that's what
people don't like to talk
You're
about.
gonna follow my model. That's what I do with my people.
Well, that's what Tom Cristiano did. It is highly scripted.
Well,
We
it's
don't
not
script-
scripted. I just tell them what, I have areas that we're gonna discuss. These are the topics, okay? And we may vary from that, but,
Well, the repeat guests that we have usually know what we do, because I just follow the same format that I have with
thing-
almost any guest.
the thing with Cristiano is he'd hand you a script and you never even came close to talking about the stuff that was on the script.
Well,
you know?
yeah, you
Yeah,
kind of get
That's what I
sidelined.
love the most, though. There's no script here.
Yeah.
And what I like with John Moses is how he gets along with John McDonough. Well, and that's the thing, because a lot
All
of
you have to
people
do is
that
flip
I
the
know will
switch.
say, hey, come on, the show, Dan Rivera, that's in charge of Coalition of Better Acre. I asked you enough, 2, maybe 3 times. He just come in, he's running a big organization in the city of Lowell. I said, you should come on the show. And the same thing for Sixto. And I like this kid, so he'll be on the show, I guarantee you. He's a Dominican kid that's running for our at-large city council race. And it's huge for me because,
You say kid, how old is he?
when I say kid, we're in our 70s.
Right.
He's probably in
50?
his 40s, if he's
Oh, okay,
lucky, mid-40s,
He's
I
a
Yeah,
would
kid.
say.
you title it as kid because he's as old as
Well,
our
as soon as you
children.
meet him, though, it's just,
Yeah.
that's the thing. You got to meet people, Sam, you know that.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a key. And as soon as you meet him, you like him. I don't care who you are. If you don't like him, there's something wrong with you. But he's Dominican. Lawrence is coming to Lowell like I've never seen before. It's like a freight train who we're hiring in the schools from Lawrence, who's running one of our, to me, my favorite, other than my sister's nonprofit, Coalition A Better Acre. To me, no nonprofit, no nonprofit has done what those people have done. It's part of my whole campaign is going to be about Spanish, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, people that move from Lawrence to Lowell, because I don't know, you just mentioned Trump, okay? And I'm looking at that saying, wow, I went out and got almost 300 signatures. I got 242 that are certified, they call it, okay? And
They only need 150,
Sam,
right?
everyone's going to love this. But two of my, I want to say, one's my best friend in life since I've been 12 years old. And another one I worked for 20 years in the prison, and I love him. He got I think he's one of the guys that got my pension. He's a pro-union type of guy. But I visited them to get signatures, because that's what I'm doing this time, making sure I go get everybody that has supported me in the past, right? Hey, can I get 2 signatures? I don't need your money. I don't need a signed location, just 2 signatures. The first one, my best friend in life said, I'm sorry this time, buddy, I can't support you. I said, really?
Wow, that's interesting.
I goes, really? What have I done that bad? I know I've done some things, and I know you're waiting to hear what I'm saying next, but I'll say this to you. What have I done to you? He said, you voted for Trump. And he can tell I did because of my Facebook. That's fine. I stayed an hour to tell him, talking back and forth, and finally he gave me the 2 signatures. I said, that's all I'm talking about. I'm running for the schools in Lowell. I'm not running for Senate, okay? So that's one. The other guy that I worked with, he was mowing his lawn on a 102 temperature day about 2 weeks ago.
He's nuts.
Well, anyways, he's shaking. I thought he was ready to, go down to the ground. I jumped out of the car to get signatures too, but I felt bad for him. He goes, no, I can't support you. You voted for Trump. Excuse me.
I know we
So
got in on this table.
I took that home saying, whoa, I didn't realize, because on my Facebook, anybody can find that. But what they don't know, what I'm going to be doing is trying to really get to the Spanish, Puerto Rican, Dominican, I don't care what languages, nationality you are. I want you to vote. You're living here. Because it's a big part of what our problems are in our school system. We don't have anybody representing someone of Spanish descent. We don't have one.
Do you have an idea what the percentage of Hispanic people
Sam, read this one.
are in the school system? Okay. Good morning, best morning program in the Merrimack Valley, parenthesis, city life. Also, big red dog history lessons on Monday, Fridays are the best. Jay.
Yeah, he likes, I don't blame him. I
who's
love
Jay?
Cliff Krieger, too.
Do we know who Jay is?
Yeah,
No,
I thought you did.
I don't know who Jay is, no.
Okay.
But anyways,
Well, hi.
long story short, what I'm going to go after is all the Spanish votes. Because if a couple of my best friends are going to call me a Trumper, I'm going after Spanish, because I think they voted for Trump. So I'm going to go after that vote also. But at the same time, my head's thinking, if anybody can help our school system out, it's Spanish-speaking people. And we have a few people, Sam, that are running for city council that are Spanish. I'm really excited about that. But this young man, and I'll get his name down pretty soon, he's in our at-large race. And in that race, you could ever get your Rita, Mercy, and Vesnanoon. 2 out of the 3.
They're all at large.
At large.
Yeah.
And you can pick 3 of them. And 2 out of the 3, I'll always have love for, okay? I'm not going to say names today. But I'm going to tell you, the 3rd spot was almost beat by Corey Belanger last time. He, even that time, he said if the election went another week, he might have came in 3rd. But he came in 4th. Now he's running in my district, and it bothered me a little bit that he's running just district now. I wish he stayed at large, but that's a story I don't want to bring up again. But my point is, this person that entered the race for at large, Sixto, the last name, I'm not going to say it because I'll...
Jesus.
The Jesus, I just forgot the name.
De Jesus.
De Jesus, yeah. I really think, I've been around this town for quite a while, looking at signs and feeling the pulse. 3rd place is up for grabs, and I really do hope that this kid wins. I'm going to say it right now. I hope he wins, because that's what the city really needs.
Well,
Our
you need-
schools do,
you
and I
need-
only worry about the
You,
schools.
you need to get some turnover, so, I'm losing my
Okay,
mind.
That's why I threw this out there.
It's early.
Going to ask you a question, and it just...
So I'll give you time to think about the question.
That's
You
what
were
happens when you
talking,
get old, folks.
the Coalition for a Better Acre, there was somebody that won $1 million that was involved in that.
Dave Olet, best
Yeah,
guy
the
around.
Olet,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did he
And
win
you
on
guys
the
all know
lottery?
him?
Yes, he did. I know him real well.
Great
John
guy.
knows him. He's
Great
been on the
guy.
show, yeah, great
Lives
guy.
over in the acre. He's the Drake Board of Health Commissioner. And
He-
wonderful, wonderful. Couldn't happen to a better guy.
He hit the lottery for...
$1 million.
Yeah, and
Good
it
for
was
him.
over the Jaws 50-year anniversary.
Yep.
That's what it was. And
Yeah.
he-
So
he won.
congratulations to him.
Good.
I saw that on the
Well,
news.
somebody has to win, right?
Yeah,
Yes, and it's
he-
nice if it's local.
Yes.
And hopefully that will, I think he said something about
You
paying
know,
off his mortgage or
That's what I
something
love
like that.
sitting next to you. You brought that up, and I brought up CBA, Coalition of Better Acre.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about Dave Olet, that won $1 million.
Yeah.
Number 2 in that organization is Dave Olet. He didn't work for it, didn't get paid to do it. Nobody done more for the acre than young Jew Chow and Dave Olet, number 2. Just a civilian that stuck his nose in and done things. Oh, it's
Well, I
incredible what he's
I
done.
try to do a lot of reading about a variety of topics. I mean, I read a lot of stuff about health. I'm not trying to change the subject,
That's all
but
right.
I'm trying to give Sam time to think of his question. So I read a lot of stuff
a while.
with regard to that, and then you read about how a lot of doctors say, please don't read the internet because it's not all accurate. It's not this, it's not that. But there's a lot of truth to what you take, what you eat, and how you are.
You are what you eat. That's
Yeah.
the old saying, right?
Yeah, and then there was an article that I came across this morning that I forwarded. I know nobody read it. They're going to give reparations to those individuals. I think it's only New Mexico, where when they did the atomic bomb
nuclear
tests.
testing, yeah.
Yes. And so when we wonder why this country has so many different forms of cancer and other diseases, and you have individuals saying, oh, it must be the food that we eat, or it must be the dyes and all the artificial stuff, they're not taking into consideration how much radiation contamination, because it stays like forever, in all of the states, that there was fallout. And some places are worse than others. But with the reparations, the bottom line is that they figure it will definitely help the region with the individuals. And you're coming down 80 years. After 80 years, they're finally going to do something. It's not a lot of money per individual or family, but it's something. And
Who's paying the bill?
the
Taxpayer.
we are.
To the Japanese?
No, to the people that live in New Mexico that
That are affected by
that
the
are
nuclear,
affected
the
by
radiation.
the
Right.
atomic bomb tests that they had down there.
Understood.
Because they didn't, they went out, first they did tests 40 miles out. Now they're going 150 miles, or they went 150 miles out to see what the radiation samples are. And I'm certainly sure they're going to go further,
Well, they do.
because
They
the
test
weather
it.
will carry it.
They test underground. Now,
Yes.
They've done that for years.
Well, they can't test in the air because there's nothing there. It would be whatever fell out at the time, and whatever it is, it will still be in that soil. And then you wonder whether or not, Putin's going to drop a nuclear bomb or of some sort on Ukraine, because he's not going to give up.
Well, he's nuts.
Well-
I think that's clear. The man is out of his mind.
Well, you begin to wonder whether or not his brain is being affected by, cancer or something else.
You know,
You
what
have
I'd
to
like-
understand his background. I mean, he
Well,
was
I was
brought
gonna
up
go into
under
that.
the old Soviet Union. He was a KGB officer. He is still angry that it isn't the Soviet Union anymore, and he wants to bring back the glory days.
Right, and all of Europe
And-
should be scared.
And, well, I think they got their attention now. I mean, you have to, whether you like Trump or not, you have to give him credit for what he's been able to do with the NATO and the European Union situation, because
Excuse me.
it's absolutely true that for most of that time, the U.S. has been the one that has ponied up everything, and it's time for the Europeans to as they say,
need to defend
as they
themselves.
say, pay their fair share
Well-
and defend themselves, because they're the ones who are immediately impacted. I mean, Russia goes crazy, then the whole world is impacted, obviously, but the Europeans get the first onslaught, and they're immediately impacted. And they need to step up, and they need to commit themselves to their defense more than they have been historically. So it's great that's happened. But as far as Putin is concerned, I mean, he just, the man's, I think he's mentally ill. He's deranged. And how do you deal with a crazy person?
When you mention reparations, it's something I'd need a whole show to talk about the things I don't like about reparations. But when you talked about the people in New Mexico that might have caught cancer, let's say, from radiation, I look at life a whole lot different now than I did 20 years ago, for sure. But recently, my wife's taking care of her 97-year-old mother. I shouldn't say anything on TV because my wife's going to get mad at me. But this isn't too important to me. I
But
go
she's
visit.
97.
I try to visit well, your mother's what, 102?
104.
So, but I try to visit her every day. I don't get it every day. Sometimes you got to work. You're not there. But
Where does she live?
she lives in Lowell in her own home, and my wife is just
Wow.
one of the caretakers.
That's pretty
all.
cool. 97 and she's still in her
Yeah,
own
but
house?
you know
my
what I
mother
love
would've
about her? This
stayed.
is what she says to me, and she still says it to me to this day, because from the neck up, she's fine. She's very smart, intelligent. She said to me, Bob, don't worry about a thing. She goes, only the good die young. That's what she says to me, like I'm going to live forever. But I know I ate the worst of foods my whole life, especially chocolate and candies and all kinds of sweets. But I think it's all mental health now. I'm coming down to mental health on every issue.
I think that's a large part of it.
Yeah, because I seen, my wife's had cancer twice, and one of them was definitely over stress, a certain stress that I won't talk about. But I seen it happen to her. I seen when this thing happened to her, I seen it just shake her whole world and cancer come back again. I try to live every day as happy as I can. I mean, that's meaning I'm not going to miss the show today. Maybe I get some more sweets off of Evelyn. That little thing about a
I
sweet.
will be baking for
But-
next week.
But I can say this, I'm happy with my life. I think it's because of my 5 grandchildren. I don't know what makes me so happy,
Well, that's a big factor.
Yeah,
but
but
it
if-
is a factor in life,
being
too.
optimistic
It's
in life is
factor
a
in
good
life,
thing.
Yeah.
in my opinion. Thank you.
Yeah, John?
When I was out fiddling around, getting us up on Facebook, you guys were bragging about Chispa Telemedia and what a wonderful job they did with the parade, and that's good. Drake it public access. There is nobody like them. This is their summer program. They teach the kids how to do video, and they have the kids come down and they work with the kids and teach them video, teach them television production.
That's good.
Teach them how to work cameras. And they've been doing this for 1,000 years, since day one. Guy by the name of Gary Muse and company. They run the place, and absolutely fabulous stuff they do out in Drake public access. And that's the benchmark for the local public access outlets. Nobody does what Drake Access does.
Well, that's very smart, because they're kind of cultivating the next wave of people that could work for them. You get 15, 20 kids, maybe you're going to wind up with 2 or 3 that'll come in and run your cameras and help you with your production. I think that's very smart.
Well, they're teaching these kids how to do this themselves.
Great.
Yeah, and all I was saying is, on Chenford's side, was whoever done the commercial for you to tell you about Chasing the Facts or those other shows that
Yeah.
they were saying, I
That-
thought was
that-
spectacular.
That was a good.
That's a good move.
That was a good.
So again,
combo.
a tip of the cap to
Yeah.
Gary Muse and Drake at public access.
There you go.
It's good.
So Chelmsford High School had a studio where there were courses that the kids could take, and then they could do different video productions, or that they would be working on the productions that came out of the Theater Guild at the high school. And they were doing that way before my son even got there,
Yes.
in '92. I don't know what their programs are today. I do know that Neshoba has a whole area because one of my granddaughters is involved in whatever the video productions are, or whatever the video stuff is that she's doing over
Is
there, which...
that part of their curriculum?
Yes.
Okay.
That will lead into a job of some sort. And of course, I asked all kinds of questions, and she didn't have any answers, but she's only a freshman. So we'll see how it goes and where it goes with regard to that. But there are a lot of the, I don't know if Greater Lowell Tech, they may have the same type of curriculum that Neshoba has.
I would be surprised if they didn't, yeah.
I think that they all follow a certain line.
Both great schools, yeah, both of them.
And, being prepared for things like that is commendable for those areas. So that being stated, we were talking about, I made a comment about the, nuclear bombs and all this other stuff. And of course, in the time that we weren't being televised on Thursdays, a couple of those weeks, John was on vacation, and then he had a business venture last Thursday, so he couldn't be here.
I had a funeral in Virginia.
Yeah, he had a funeral in Virginia. I didn't know if you wanted me to say
So
anything about that.
you are nationally known for your funeral services, is that how
Well,
that
what
works?
happens, Sam, is we don't, we'll go get you, or we'll bring you wherever you want to go. And a lot of people, they don't want to fly. And so I don't know what the circumstance with the person going to Virginia was. But I got this lady who lives out in San Francisco. When she goes, I'm going to fly out there, rent a van, and drive her back to,
Massachusetts?
Yep.
Beautiful.
Oh, no, to Virginia?
No, she's coming to here. She's coming.
Okay.
She's coming to Lowell.
Well, now there's service above and beyond
Well,
the call of
she's
duty.
never flew. She doesn't want to fly, and
But if
No.
you're dead, what difference does it make?
it's what she wants. And
I
That's
understand.
what her son wants, and that's what we're going to do. Okay, got 2 texts here, so Bobby,
you
you
go.
want to read these?
Drake at Access TV is spot on. Mr. Zimney and Mr. Bog, is it, have a great...
Bogue.
Bogue
Bogue.
have a great program, Jay. No baked goodies today.
Oh, look at the
Trying to ruin
emoji.
my day, huh?
No,
Okay.
no baked goodies.
Well, let me just say this in case you just joined us. We have a home in New Hampshire. I drove down
Way
last
up in
night.
Cow Hampshire.
It's an hour and a half. I drove down last night so that I could get up this morning to do this program, since we haven't been on for 3 weeks. I have plenty that could have kept me busy up there not to have done it. But because we haven't been on for 3 weeks, I felt responsible to be here this morning. But by the time I got there last night, I was really tired. I did debate on baking, something really quick. And I thought, oh.
Too hot.
And then, because we're just doing some construction, and so I want to be there to make sure that it goes the way I want it. So that's being stated for today. But next week I will bake. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to bake, but I'll do something. I know that everybody likes that, like, apple fritter bread that I make.
Like everything you bake.
Yeah,
Everything you
and,
bake is good.
And I could have brought my apple pie down, but I didn't do that. So, anyway, that being stated, so we were talking about the nuclear thing and about Russia and about what Putin's doing as far as Ukraine goes, but apparently what Trump did was he got NATO to pay for whatever the defensive materials are that they're going to use.
Well, they're gonna supply, initially, they'll supply their own stock, whatever they have, and then they're gonna buy replacement materials from us, and then that establishes a pipeline going forward. So that's what they're gonna do.
Do you
But the operative thing is that they're actually going to buy the material from us, as opposed to us just giving it to them for nothing, okay? And that's
I think that's a difference.
a huge
So when people
thing,
hear
right.
that support Trump,
to rely on what we're being told. But it appears that the European countries have some discretion in how they're going to deploy those materials. I mean, I think, obviously, I think it is going to go for defense to Ukraine, but, each country will have a little bit different flavor about how they're going to go about that, which I think is good. I mean, I think that is a good way to do it, and it's consistent with Trump's mentality. If you apply it to what's going on domestically here, Trump is a person who favors more activity done by states versus the federal government. So his theory, if you take, for example, the Department of Education, so his theory is, well, we're going to take a lot of money out of the Department of Education that is now spent on bureaucratic stuff, okay, maintaining the offices, paying the people and so forth, and we're going to have some of that money go directly back to the states, and then the states can decide how they're going to manage that with the schools. Same type of an approach with FEMA. Instead of keeping all the money at the federal level and having FEMA go into a disaster place and assume control of the local situation, the idea is FEMA is there to act in a support capacity. A lot of the money that would go to directly supporting FEMA activities now will go to the states, and the local equivalent of FEMA, the state equivalent, they will manage the local situation. I happen to agree with that philosophy. I'm a federalist. I believe very strongly in the independence as much as possible of the 50 states, as opposed to concentrating all the power at the national level. I happen to agree with that approach, and that he's doing that with the NATO situation, and so it makes sense to me. We'll see how it works out.
I'm the youngest one in this room. I love when I can say that.
Yes, you are.
And
I'm the oldest.
I'll be 71 in October. I've been married 50 years.
just a
I got
kid.
5 grandchildren. I got all those things.
So what is the
But
date, your
I wish
birthday
your
in October?
Yeah, my birthday's October 28th. My anniversary date's October 11th.
That's my youngest son's birthday.
But,
And
if-
John's birthday is
So
in
you
October.
were married at age 20?
And my
21,
birthday is
I believe.
October.
Yeah.
But
Hey, we're all October.
Scorpio.
I'm going to forget what I wanted to say, but if your husband was here right now, that's who would excite me about this issue, and we're talking nuclear bombs and everything. Because when I went to vote for either Harris or Trump, I was only thinking about my 5 grandchildren, what their future was like. I thought the whole world, not just America, is going down the wrong road. Something's wrong here. But if you remember, I've told you, they did a security clearance on me back in 1975, so I could drive VIPs inside the mountain of NORAD. You see things that you can't believe, and this is 1975. Your husband would be great here, because I'd start talking about certain weapons that we had
Imagine what it
back
looks like
then.
now.
But recently, when I seen him bomb Iran, the way they did it, I said, you know what? We're on the right road again. Finally. It's not perfect, but at least we showed our muscle one more time. And that's all. You don't want to do that to people all the time, push on them like I'm the strongest, I'm going to beat you, because sooner or later, someone's going to get you. But someone had to do something, and I thought that was the best thing I've seen. Even more than the border. I thought what Trump did with Iran was the best thing that I've seen.
And that was targeted. I mean, it was a very specific drop. So when we're making comparisons, and people, whether they agree with the administration in Washington or not, as far as what we're doing to help out at some other countries, when you see how we did it, and as far as I'm aware, unless there are, there's always glitches, there's always exceptions, with Israel, with Iran and some of the other things they've done with bombing, they've targeted military, they've targeted very specific areas. But when Iran was bombing Israel, they didn't care. And the same thing with Putin. He doesn't care. He wants the people to get to
Suffer.
their knees and basically say, okay, we give up, and all of the BS that goes along with that, because he's bombing civilians. And it isn't just military, it's civilians and hospitals and and churches and anything along those lines. They don't care. And the media doesn't focus on that, which I don't get off on a tangent on the media because they're crazy. But,
Well, they're corrupt,
well,
and they have been for years.
well, there's a lot of political stuff that goes along with that. So anyway, so I just wanted to say that, and then one of the articles that I saw this morning on my Google feed was that Georgia, not the state of Georgia, but the country.
Country, right.
Looks like it's not going to be democratic anymore, and Russia, China, Iran, everybody's looking at, oh gee, how can we influence this or take it over? So we want to be watching the world situation. When we talk about mental health and all of the things, with all of the crap that's going on the internet, I'm surprised that there isn't more problems out there with people if they're listening to things. Because if you don't do research, you don't have an education or being informed of all the different sides, and if you're too lazy to analyze it yourself, then there's an awful lot of,
Well,
what do you want to call it, propaganda that they're feeding you, and in this country, they're doing that through the news media
it's
because...
mostly propaganda, and let's define what we mean by research. For 98% of the population who says they do research, what they do is really confirmation bias. They have an opinion, and they seek out those sites that confirm their opinion. That is not research. Research is you are a right-wing person and you force yourself to watch MSNBC. Research is you are a left-wing person and you force yourself to watch Fox. That's research. Only reading those things that you already believe to strengthen what you already believe is not research. That's what's called confirmation bias. And that's what most people do. Most people who say they do research do not do research, because that involves seeking out other points of view and questioning what you believe and seeking out the facts.
And
That's
work,
that's
and work,
research.
a little bit of
And
work.
a lot of work. And if you're a person who says you do research, if you haven't changed your mind in 5 years, then you haven't done any research, because you're not always right. Nobody's always right.
Well,
Okay?
I
So
think
that's
a
that's
good
what we have to understand when we say research.
Right.
Most people are not doing research. They're doing confirmation bias.
And I think, I mean, a good example of that is on Facebook, there's all these articles that people refer to. So I refer to the article, I read the article, and I go, I'm not quite getting drawing the same conclusion. And it depends on what it is. It doesn't have to be political. It could be any number of things. It could be health-related. So then what I do is I go, okay, what is the source? And then when you say in research, I want to know what the source is. So then I take a look at the source and what they're connected to, and then you kind of have an idea of what the bias might be within the article. Then I'm going, okay, I wonder what, and then I ask my phone on whatever the topic is, and then all the other articles come up. And because of how I usually view things, I want to look and see what is I will call it the liberal left or the Democrats, what is their position on this? Because I already know what the other position is. So then I go back and forth and I see if there's any correlation with any of the facts. I mean, it's a long process
That's
when you do
research.
that.
Yeah.
But it's also fascinating because there's sometimes where the left and the right agree. Because it's hard to distort the truth, it's hard to distort facts. John?
What I want to put out there is, for you news junkies, get a pen out, pencil, you write this down.
Did you say news junkies?
Yeah. News
Okay,
junkies.
all right.
News junkies.
As
The
opposed
late
to
great
other
George
kind of
Anthes was a news junkie, and he would be tickled pink with this news. If you have Comcast, and you go to channel, it's 4,000, 4405. That's channel 4405. One more time, 4405. That's Los Angeles news.
Los
It's-
Angeles.
It's like, we have channel 45711, whatever you want to call it. It's their local news out in Los Angeles. 4406 brings you to Philadelphia. So if you go to 4405, and that's Los Angeles, you go up, it brings you to Detroit, Chicago, Atlanta, Houston, Austin, fantastic, Orlando.
So what
Miami.
you're saying is if you have Lowell Comcast,
If you have Comcast.
you can go to those
I do it
numbers
at
and
the beach
get,
too.
okay, I
do it at
got
the
it.
beach too. I don't know about Verizon, but if you have,
I think the higher numbers in Verizon, I think it's the same. I don't know what the numbers are, but like the 1900s in
but
Verizon.
the neat
yeah.
thing about this is, let's say for instance, there's a big fire in Chicago. Well, you go to 4428 and it's local Chicago news.
And you're going to get better coverage than if you watch the Boston news covering
Yeah,
the
so
Chicago
if you're-
fire.
Well,
Right.
they're only doing snippets off of
Yeah,
the
right,
other news
exactly.
broadcasts
So if you're a
anyway.
news junkie, 4405.
Well,
and
that's
just
good to know.
Go up
Yeah.
until you find the station you want. Of course, you can watch. Now you can talk to the TV set and tell I want to watch the BBC, and it changes the channel.
Yeah,
for
right,
you.
exactly.
You know,
Great
it's
stuff.
been 3 weeks since,
Evelyn, you want to read these three?
Don't forget, we were told by the media, President Biden is fit for office. Definitely a problem with this country is the news, both sides.
Yep.
Next.
I'm pretty sure all the military scrap pollution all over the world is not good for the environment. Plus other stuff. We provoked Russia into what we did. It started back in 2014. Professor Mearsheimer and Professor Sachs go into detail about our involvement. Bart.
Great job on Mearsheimer. I never would have got that one,
Now,
Dave.
who's Bart? We know who
Do
Bart
we
is?
know who Bart is?
No.
Okay, well, that's fine.
We've got a lot
But
of
it's
people
interesting
today
what
that
all of
we-
those things are.
yeah.
We were, and in talking about research, I know, Sam, that you always go to the National Register.
Federal
and then,
Register.
And then you do Forbes. I've read Forbes.
I do Forbes, I
and
do
then-
Congressional Record, I do
Yes.
Federal Register.
So you kind of get away from the bias and you get
Yeah,
into whatever
you
it is
have
that's
to.
actually happening. But I do have a question for you
Yeah.
because I was waiting to ask this question.
Oh,
Where do you find the big beautiful bill so that you can read it?
Google.
the actual
Yes.
language of the bill?
Yes.
You go up on the congressional website and you'll find it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I want to read it on my own.
Well,
I
I'll
don't
tell
want
you,
somebody else
I'm about-
telling me
I'm-
what it says.
No, I agree, and I'm about two-thirds through. It's about 1,000 pages, okay?
that's not a
And
big deal.
I'm around page 650 or 660, and an awful lot of the way it's been characterized is totally, it's not just inaccurate, they're lies.
I just
The
go to,
media is on, and again, to echo what that poster said, on both sides, they're not giving you the truth, okay? So you really need to read the bill. The problem is that nobody does because it's 1,000 pages.
so the big beautiful bill in full, I just went to Google, and these are all the options you have. They have a
Yeah, well,
PDF.
it's easy to get the text. Yeah.
Right, and you don't necessarily need to know everybody's interpretation. It's better to kind of look at it and then read it for yourself and then see how they're interpreting
yeah,
and why
make
they're
up
interpreting
your
it that
mind.
way.
Read it yourself.
Because I don't know if I'm in favor of everything or not in favor of it, because there's so many conflicting reports with regard to what's going on in
Well,
the media. So,
From what I've seen so far, I like some parts, and I don't like other parts. And I think most bills are like that, okay?
well, they
And-
jam everything in one.
Yeah.
I thought that we were going to have a Congress
Oh, no.
that was going to do single
no,
topic
no,
bills,
that'll
and
never
I'm not
happen.
happy with that.
Never happen.
I like to keep it very straightforward and simple. Complicating the heck out of everything is not in my wheelhouse.
That's how they get
Unless
stuff.
I want people confused.
That's how they get stuff enacted. You can't get single issue legislation enacted unless you hang a bunch of stuff on it that benefits the local districts of the congressman. That's how it works. Otherwise, you wouldn't get anything passed.
So
I mean,
we're coming up on 6:45.
it's awful, but that's the way it
Yes.
works.
John Moses will be on at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
John Moses is here. So, Sam, you had 3 weeks off, 4 weeks off. Did you
did.
do anything interesting over vacation time?
Did I do anything? No,
Anything you want to brag about?
No, mostly working. I'm very involved with the assessing operations in town right now, and I've spent a lot of time, and
Did you go to the parade?
I'm on the parade committee. I better have gone to the parade.
How was
Yes,
the parade?
the parade was very, very good.
What did you eat at the parade?
Nothing.
Oh, jeez, that's Sam Chase for you. Sam, what do you put on your hot dog?
I was too big, mustard.
Just mustard?
Just, that's it.
How about a cheeseburger?
I don't do cheeseburger. I just do regular hamburger with
Okay.
ketchup.
Okay. How about you, Bobby? What did you do over the last month? Anything spectacular?
Campaigned.
That's right, you're
Strictly
running for
campaigned.
office.
Yep,
There you
just
go.
strictly
Did you
campaigned.
go to the Chelmsford Parade?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay. What do you put on your hot dog?
Usually all around like mustard, relish, and onion.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, onion.
How about a
would
cheeseburger? What do you
turn
put
out
on your
would be good.
cheeseburger?
I don't like cheeseburgers. Plain hamburger. Plain. Nothing. No
Nothing?
ketchup. No. Salt and pepper.
Little ketchup.
Little bit of salt, mostly pepper.
So, Evelyn, I know you probably built 4 houses in the last month because you're a busy beaver. What have you done over the last month?
Well, we were doing some construction
You
at the
bought a
other
new
house.
car.
Yes, I did. I bought a new
There you go.
vehicle. That's a big deal. I wasn't even thinking about that. It's sitting out there. You can see what color it is.
Can't miss it.
Yeah. Bright red.
Fire chief.
Every time I get in it, though, I do think of my dad when I used to be driving back and forth from Chelmsford to Quincy to see them because he was concerned about my safety. I said, and that's when I had the 1995 Windstar,
Which was red.
which was red. And I said to my father, I said, well, it's a big red box. If somebody can't see it, not my fault.
So what?
So-
Okay, so you built it, but did you go to the parade?
No. So what I did.
What?
No, so what I did.
Holy muckfire!
Glenn ran in the
Glenn ran the
Carson,
road race.
road race.
Yep, and so did my middle son and my oldest
Yep.
son's, and his family ran the road race.
But you didn't go to the parade.
Nope, so what I did was I brought Glenn, the two of us came down the day before. I always drop him in the center of, a car in the center of town, and then I take
At
him.
midnight?
No, at 8:15.
It's like the
I'm
cheese.
just
In the
kidding.
morning, and then I take him and my middle son up to Hannaford's in the parking lot and stuff and drop them off at the road race. So this time what I did was I went to McDonald's and I got a couple of sausage biscuits, and then I went back to the house, packed up what food I wanted, and then I headed north to avoid traffic. But there wasn't any traffic. It was almost like everybody was dead. There was like nothing.
Important
Nobody on the
question
road.
for you, Evelyn, is what do you put on your hot dog?
Mustard and relish.
Okay. How about a cheeseburger?
Usually the same, but I haven't made a cheeseburger in decades, because.
Well, they sell them at most restaurants too.
Yeah, I know
Yeah, they
that. But
do.
when I have it at the restaurants, I usually have it plain with salt and pepper, and I don't eat the bread. So that's what I do with a cheeseburger.
I'll do that often. I order a cheeseburger, no
There you
bread.
go.
Right, and when it was cheap enough at McDonald's, I would get like the double cheeseburger or the McDouble or whatever it was that they had that was like $2, and take the top off and just have the rest of it. So I throw that part of the bread
Now, have
away.
you been inside of McDonald's lately?
No.
The
last time-
all the McDonald's I go to, there's a computer. You have to. There's a big
Right.
screen.
The last
TV.
time I went inside was in Rochester, New Hampshire.
Yep.
And there was a kiosk, and I'm looking at this going, you gotta be kidding me. Because none of the specials were on the kiosk. You had to wait until you paid. And I'm like, I'm not doing this. And so, it was very confusing for me
Okay,
to deal with
what
it.
I would suggest to everybody.
So I do drive up.
Everybody out there in TV land is go on YouTube and try to understand the McDonald's kiosk. It's really easy to use. I love to drink iced coffee. And the other day, my friend Mike Sawyer and myself, we went into McDonald's for a quick drink, and I had not used the kiosk in about a year because I used the drive-through most of the time. Wicked simple. Wicked
Well, I don't think it's
simple.
super complicated. I think they
So
probably
I was happy
changed
with the
it when they
kiosk. So
first did it.
if you haven't been to McDonald's for a while, go to YouTube and look at how the kiosk works at
And
McDonald's.
if you live in Westford, you will not be doing any drive-through because they do not allow
That's correct.
drive-through in the town of Westford, which
And I do very
does
little.
not make any sense to me, but
So I don't
That's
use a
Westford.
McDonald's in Westford.
Nope.
Well,
There's a
in
Starbucks
Hampton-
over there.
in
you have to go
Hampton,
into the
They
restaurant.
don't let the speaker speak back to you. You can yell to the thing, I want a cheeseburger, and it comes up on the screen, you want a cheeseburger.
Oh,
They don't talk
okay,
back.
so it's visual, but they don't, yeah. You have to have some confirmation that they got your.
Now, there is an interesting thing that I've noticed. If I go to the Chelmsford McDonald's, I don't do this very often because the prices are really high, but if I'm in a hurry.
What?
I think that the prices are high, but that's
They
another
bump up the
discussion.
prices at Chelmsford McDonald's? I didn't know.
No, all of the McDonald's, it's all the same. So everything increased in price from when I used to go to McDonald's more regularly because I'm
The
always
dollar
out in my
menu
car.
seems to be gone, you're right.
So all the specials, most of the specials are gone. But in doing that, what I started was, I thought, fish fillet, okay? I happen to like it, I like the tartar sauce, the whole thing. So there was a couple of different McDonald's. There was one that was in Weymouth, when I used to go down and see my mother. And then there was the one in Chelmsford was their fish fillet was really good. I ordered one in Rochester, New Hampshire. It was dry as anything. It wasn't like, it was almost like they had had it for a long time. So there is different qualities
Too far from the
amongst
coast.
them. You're funny.
Evelyn,
Right?
can I?
No.
The
It's all
Quincy
frozen
fish is a
stuff.
lot fresher, right?
No, no,
Excuse me.
no. Go ahead.
We got
I don't know.
about 7 minutes before we get on with John Moses, and I can't wait. But,
You're in trouble, John.
no, real quick, I just want to say this.
When I'm bringing up the menu too. Go ahead, Bob.
Right.
No, at the end of the month, the 31st, I go for 4 days up at Saratoga, New York for the best horse racing in the world. That's my favorite trip every year with a bunch of retired prison guards. But getting back to the show, when we want to talk about homes and the best bang for the buck, I always look at Sam, and that's who I go after there. But today I was going to come in, what can I say to Evelyn to make her go off? I love doing that to her. I would say, what do you think about...
Doesn't take much.
What do you think about the mayor's race in New York? You got a couple of minutes. Just give
Mahoney?
us your feeling about that.
Well, it's rank choice voting. So the question is, was he the first choice of everybody? So that kind of screws things up on trying to figure out how to predict.
And a very small voting participation, too. I think it was 14% or something.
Right, and then they said that the voters were mostly like college-age kids in Columbia and all this other stuff who are registered to vote there. So what do I think? What do I think about the candidate? I listened to some of the things that he has said. I don't agree with most of it, obviously. But he's now changing his tune with regard to some of the verbiage that he had, like with the global intifada, because he knows that he's not going to get the Jewish vote if he continues along those lines. So now he's becoming more of the politician. So if he really wasn't a politician to begin with, he is certainly changing his tune to become one, so that he can get the votes and he can get in. And then when he gets in, he can say anything he wants to get in. And once he gets in, he can do almost anything that he wants to, he chooses to do. But he has to work within the framework of whatever, I would assume, the framework of whatever the bylaws and regulations are of New York City. And some of the commentary that I've listened to is there's a lot of stuff that he wants to do. He will not be able to do as a mayor, but he could do it as a, do they have aldermen? What do they have?
City council.
City councilors?
Meanwhile, the audience still wants to go back to McDonald's. Best and cheapest iced coffee on Roger Street. I agree.
There you go.
Good stuff.
Well, their French fries are consistent.
They seem to, people I talk to who frequent McDonald's for the drinks, they all tell me that regardless of what you think of their food, that the beverages are top shelf, the Coke and the soda.
Oh, I don't have any soda.
And so I did a little research on that, and I found out that for some reason, this is a thing with McDonald's, and part of the secret is the refrigeration. They keep the liquids cooler than other places, and they use better ingredients, okay? And so there seems to be some validity to that.
When you get a Diet
Yeah.
Coke there, it's a rich Diet Coke.
It's the Diet Coke, the friend of, and we all know who she is in Chelmsford. She serves on a couple of boards. She's addicted to Diet Coke.
What's her
and
name?
The only place she'll go for Diet Coke is McDonald's, because they have the
Well,
best
what's her
quality.
name? The addicted person.
It's Anita Tonini. She's addicted to the Diet Coke, and she wouldn't be upset with me for saying that, because she readily admits it.
Sam, time is short. What drink do you get at McDonald's?
I don't.
Bobby, what drink do you get at McDonald's?
I usually get a diet soda, Coke or something. Root beer, maybe regular root beer.
Evelyn?
I usually don't order anything, but sometimes they have
No, you
those.
get nothing. John, you're going to have to
pineapple
yell. What do you
mango
get at McDonald's?
smoothies.
Large Diet Coke with ice.
See, there you go.
I get a large, sugar-free vanilla iced coffee with 2
Sugar-free
cream
vanilla.
and 2 Splenda.
Oh, my God.
Delicious stuff. Now
That's
that
going to kill you.
Nope.
You
Well,
guys
anyway,
got 2
so-
minutes left.
Yeah, so we've been talking about all kinds of odds and ends this morning, but, you did ask about New York City. That was on my list
Yeah.
Okay.
to see what you guys
I'm
thought.
voting for Adams.
And,
I'm not going to move there. I'll just use
You're
it.
gonna have to come out with someone.
But-
Someone's gonna have to
I
come
mean,
out. of
the
woodwork.
bottom line is that if you want to start to try to tax, and a lot of people misunderstand, and we're going to run out of time for discussion on this unless we push it into the next hour, and that's when they talk about the people that make a lot of money paying their fair share, and the analysis is that 1% of the people are paying more than 40% or 45% of the taxes. I don't know that.
It's always been that way.
And I don't know that the fair share would be that everybody pays the same percentage. rather than that piece. And then when they talk about all the billionaires and all of the other stuff, well, if it wasn't for them paying the taxes, depends on the capital gains, that's a different issue. But if they have income tax, it wasn't for them making money and paying taxes, I'm not exactly sure how a lot of things would get paid.
My takeaway for the federal budget is they take in every red cent of taxes and they print 100% more and spend it every year. That's
Right,
my
I don't
takeaway.
have support for that, but again, would have to do the research with regard to those statements, but but when everybody
Sam would
says the
know.
fair share, they don't necessarily
I can
describe
tell you
what their fair
exactly how
share
it
is.
works, but it would put everybody to sleep, so I'm not going to.
So look, I'm gonna stop it here. You guys are gonna go.
Yeah, please stay with us.
coffee or
For the next hour.
whatever.
We're going to take a short break, and
back.
when we come
We're going to
back,
get the
City Life.
superior McDonough coffee, right?
For free coffee.
Yeah, don't go away.
Actually, this is good coffee, folks. Okay.
Especially for the price.
Yeah. Well, that's right.
Hey, you know what? Did you-
Perfect.
Welcome back to City Life. I'm Evelyn Thoren. I am your host for the next approximate hour. I mean, it's like 58 minutes. And my co-hosts, Sam Chase and Bob Hoey, and our guest, John Moses.
Hello.
Thank you, John. I was telling him earlier, I drove down from our house up in New Hampshire specifically to do this program, and then I'm headed back for a short period of time. So just there's so many different topics, but we're going to start with education first.
Sure.
You sit on the Chelmsford School Committee.
Yeah.
It is summer.
It is.
Now, do you have a summer schedule for the school committee?
Yeah, we actually took a month off, so we'll still go in for things like that need to come up, or
Like
like
signing warrants?
signing warrants or anything like that. But we finished the 2024 warrants at the parade, actually, and so yeah, Dennis, our chairman, went in and signed the last things for last year. But the school committee's doing really well. We're on our month schedule. We did close all the contract negotiations prior to that, which we're really happy with. So teachers agreed on a contract. They went and
great.
voted on it. Yeah, and we could talk about that a little bit. But overall, it's been really good at school committee. Negotiations are over. We're going into next year strong in a good fiscal situation. The education cuts haven't hurt Chelmsford as much as some of the more like urban cities. Still something we're to contend with and we're waiting some reporting on, but overall it's been a really good year, really successful. The baseball team won the conference championship this year.
They did.
Coach got a bunch of awards and he
Yes.
deserved them. And we're just happy going into the next school year. So we have the teacher contract, we have the paras, and a few other ones, food service, all the major ones, right? And the teacher was the big one that closed the door for all the rest. That's usually common.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long did that negotiation take?
With the teachers,
Yeah.
I think it was only 4 or 5 sessions. It wasn't too bad.
Boy, that's really,
Probably set a record.
yeah, yeah, I think so.
Hey, I'm gonna barge in here for 1 second.
Yeah.
The audience wanted, Mr. McDonough, what was the tower you showed at the beginning of the show off to the left? I'm gonna zoom over there for a second. It's on Tanner Street. It's a power generating plant, and that's the exhaust pipe for it. I'm gonna move over a little bit. Come on, baby, get over there. There it is. I gotta back out a little bit. It's pretty big stuff.
Oh,
Now,
yeah, look
there's
at
a-
that.
If you get on the train in Lowell and you go under the bridge, you'll see this. It looks like a cruise ship's parked in Lowell, but it's not. This is the chimney that goes along with a power generating plant that's on Tanner Street. And I don't blame you for not recognizing it. Good catch. And I think that the people over at Markley should take a lesson from this company. And the towers that go over your generators should be this high. So that's just my take. Back to you guys. Thank you for noticing.
No worries.
Now, has the teacher contract been ratified?
Yep, it's been ratified. We can talk about it too.
I was just going to ask, if we
Yeah.
do that. So can you tell us what the highlights?
Yeah,
Please?
absolutely. 3-year contract. I will say the negotiations were very, I think 4 or 5 sessions. We have a really good relationship with this particular group of teachers. The teachers' focus this year was on the top step, right? 51% or so of our teachers in Chelmsford are top step. They are underpaid compared to their peers, on the lower steps. So
By
you
how
can-
much?
I don't know the number. It's they're just on the scale where they are, where they fall. They're
Okay. Beginning year, first, I just got out of college, just got my job,
Yeah.
and I'm teaching 7th grade in Chelmsford. How much am I making?
That's first step.
Yeah, it's a first step. No.
Don't look at me, I don't know what it is
See,
anymore.
have to look at
It was used to be
I
like
get a boot out of this stuff.
38,000.
Well, they want to raise, they want this, and nobody knows how much money they're making, so it could be $100,000.
No, it's not 100.
Well,
Not at the beginning. It's not. It's
No.
not. Definitely not that high.
It could be
I think
90.
we have a whole pay scale, right?
be
And we have
90?
hundreds of positions. So
could be 90.
I don't think 90.
No, it's not that high.
We should look up our.
I think it's like 38, and I'm going to try.
I just don't want to pull out my phone. I
I'd
could
rather
look.
have rock hard numbers.
Glenn texted me to tell me that he's watching us on his phone.
Hi, Glenn.
Yes.
Good to see you. No, I just don't know it off the top. I could look it up for you. I just don't want to pull out my phone. But we have the. I don't memorize the pay scale for all.
Because from what I understand, Lowell teachers make 10 grand more than any of the surrounding
That might be
communities.
true.
I think
could
that,
be-
yeah,
could be true.
that is true.
We're not and again, I don't have the specific number. In terms of teacher salary compared to like our districts that are similar to us, we were actually a little bit on the low side. We do a lot with less money in Chelmsford.
Well, I think your bragging point is you're the 40th smartest school system in the state,
Pretty good.
and you should reward your teachers handsomely.
Yeah. And,
Oh, it's more than I thought it was.
and then we did, that's about right.
How much is it?
Okay, so
That sounds
the average starting salary for a teacher in Massachusetts is 50,000.
We're around there. We're like 56 right
And it said it can fluctuate. Some sources report
How much
figures.
in Chelmsford have?
That's what I'm reading.
Get
getting
to
there.
it, please.
I gave you a number. It said it's an average starting salary of 50,000, but some sources report figures closer to 30,000 for high school teachers in North Chelmsford, while others indicate a wider range, 67
30
to 91.
grand in Chelmsford, you pikers.
So it says for elementary school teachers, the average salary reported is 87. But these are average.
Yeah, we can
So
just look at the
this-
contract.
I know, and I don't think it's online.
Well,
it may not be
when's Jay
posted.
coming in, Jay Lang?
At the, August.
So when Jay comes, we'll have to.
He'll know.
I'll
Bring
make
the
sure
salaries.
he's ready for specific, he would know
Oh,
those
he would know
numbers.
anyway. He knows
every
numbers
number.
in and
Because, I mean,
So the one thing about Dr. Lang that people don't understand is he knows every number all the time. He's
If we're
super-
paying 37 grand to our teachers in Chelmsford to
I
start.
don't think that's right.
No.
That's,
No, that
that's
can't be right.
No.
way
it isn't.
too stingy, way too stingy.
Can't be right.
I could, but it's, wait a minute now, let me see.
That's more like a parapet.
So,
Sam, you
I'm
need to
looking
tighten
at,
up on
I'm
your
looking
mic.
at other sources besides what the AI guy does. And so we're looking at higher numbers. Yeah, some of these are low numbers. In fact, they're lower than when I was there. In terms of
Well, these are all, we'd have to look at the contract.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah. So so this contract though was focused on the higher, it was focused on step 12. So it was just it was a straight, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5 for the regular, for everybody, step 11 and below, and then step 12, got a 3.5 over 3 years. It's costed to the town at 3%, so we've made but the teachers this year had to focus on their senior people. Yeah,
I should say Chelmsford, right? Not England.
they have teachers in England.
I know, I don't want to go.
All right.
That's the nurses, teacher salaries.
It
You can
says-
look at our 1920
Well,
salaries, they're
I've
not
got-
far
I've
off.
got the past contract. So there should be
So
something
in
in
the back.
here.
Way too
Should
much
be in-
stuff.
it-
Way
it's-
too much info. Look at all this stuff.
And
Oh, did he
this is
access
what
it
we
too?
work on. So we didn't have a lot of language requests. We have a pretty friendly, management-friendly contract, and it's a friendly
When
contract
I
with
find
you.
something, I'll put it back up.
120.
All right.
I'm looking for the scale. I have the contract.
Shouldn't be this hard. What's the secret?
What do you mean it
There's no
should be this
secret.
hard? I'm there. I know where to look,
I didn't know you were going to ask me a specific line item on a contract.
and I didn't either. I didn't either.
Shouldn't be this hard.
Just hold on. So,
Oh, here we are.
I'm going to tell you. So, at the top level, okay, this is 2024.
Yeah.
The master's degree at the top level, this is 12 years, is 93. Beginning salary, 63.
Yeah.
That was last year.
And they have
their
lanes they can
contract.
move into for certain
Yes, and there's a,
school.
right.
There
and
you go.
BA
Yeah,
does-
you got it.
Well,
Okay,
22,
there it is, right
20,
there.
There it is, right
He's got what I got on my phone.
So step one, 58. If you came in as a brand-new teacher out of college, you could expect to make just under 60K
But I
in the
thought,
district.
but I thought,
But they're
yeah.
probably going to have a master's, right?
yes, because you're
Yeah.
required by the state to
Yeah,
have
to
a
have a
master's degree. But they have the BA there because it's a teacher nurses.
Yeah.
And so you do have
Well, they
nurses-
do hire BAs, and then you get 5 years to get the master's degree, right?
It depends
Isn't
on
that
what the
state law?
need is.
No, I understand, but
So
I would...
what's this step? Is that how many years you
Yeah.
work, or that your step?
Yes.
Every year you move up a step.
Right.
And so you get whatever the COLA is, and then you get whatever the difference is between the steps.
Wait a second. Now, I'm a PhD. I've been here for 13 years. I'm getting 107. Does that include what of my COLA? I don't know what a COLA is.
2.5%.
Cost
or
of
3
living
Yeah.
adjustment.
So we're,
So I get 107 or I get
Yes.
about the 107, yeah. It's about right.
109?
And
Well, now it'll be a little higher,
I'm a
but
little bit from the Wayback Machine, and when I see steps, I go, "Ooh, that's the way to hide money from the public."
Yeah,
That's what I think.
you're right.
Why?
I don't know, that's what I always
Well, you
thought
know how
about
to-
steps. But I can say this, I've always said teachers are underpaid, the profession.
Well-
Especially if you talk about a tutor.
Yeah.
I don't know what a tutor is in Chelmsford, but the ones we have in Lowell,
So this is the
They
top of this is a Bachelor of Arts. This is basic teacher.
yeah.
Master's
Yep.
degree. Master's plus 30. You're taking a bunch. What's CAGs? Is that cigarettes or what's CAGs?
Certificate of Advanced Graduate Study.
That's what you get, you're short of a PhD because you
Right.
did not do your thesis.
Didn't do your thesis.
but you got your CAGs.
Well, you
PhD
did all
without
the
the
So-
thesis.
coursework.
Okay.
And I want you to think about this, John. So like on step one, you're not probably going to see a PhD.
Why are we screwing the nurses?
Nurses just have different pay scales. I didn't,
And those are only LPNs.
Those
Those
are
aren't
LPNs.
registered. That's the lowest on the totem pole when you take a look at
Oh,
nurses.
they're like the BA?
they're like the school nurse. They're like the LPN and, they do,
Because they don't,
they're important.
Yes.
They're very important. But that's their scale. It's competitive, too. We
They
check-
don't-
So
wanna put
our
RNs.
nurses are LPNs?
I think we're
They're
cheating
not
them.
RNs?
No, I think we have a couple.
They're getting
You have- yeah,
cheated.
you gotta
We have
have,
the,
you have to have RNs.
We have an RN,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah. And
With
that's
all the
adjusted.
special needs people that we have in our system, those LPNs are getting ripped off. I'm sorry, but that's
Yeah.
the truth.
That's the thing, though. I think a lot of us agree that teachers don't get paid enough. I think, though, that local levies, like even in Lowell and Chelmsford, when you're trying to do contracts, we've done things to improve teacher salary in previous contracts. So the last contract, we removed a step and added a step, so you can do a little bit of a shift. And that was right after COVID. So the teachers went through a lot. We felt like they had earned it. And in this year, the teachers' focus was on kind of the senior teacher band, right? They wanted to reward the teachers that have been here a long time. It was ratified with only 4 dissents out of it. So it was popular with the school committees, popular with the teachers. It puts us in a stable position for the next 3 years. So it's just one less thing we have to worry about. Next year is the custodial contract, and that's it. And then, but yeah, the town is really doing well. We're really looking forward to next year. And I got a few more years on this, so no more contracts maybe, but.
No, usually it's like when I ran the first year, we had the contract.
Yeah.
It took a while for us to get somewhere with that. And in those days, because of who was the leadership on the teacher side, I can remember being at the central administration until 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the
Oh,
morning.
yeah.
And then going home. And then I always remembered that just about every single contract, we had mediation.
Yeah.
And there were some glitches, things that you don't need to know the history of that. There was times where there was only 5 steps. That was
Yeah.
crazy. We went back to 10. There was longevity. We got rid of longevity because it was costing.
This is Lowell in
problem.
2023.
I can't see it.
So
You can't see that?
Well,
Zoom in a little.
I didn't put my other glasses on.
Okay, so,
About the same.
first year,
Little, yeah.
$53,000 in Lowell. $52,000 in Chancellor. Only 1,000, it's not 10,000. There's
Well, when
rumors it's 10 grand.
Well,
Yeah,
look
but-
at the,
But took of them MA.
Look
We're
at the
higher.
Look at the MA.
And
This
this
one's
is,
58?
Yes.
This is Chancellor,
Look on the scroll down though, what's on the bottom?
Go on
Well, it
the,
gets less.
57.
go at the top, see what it is at the top step.
yeah, how many steps?
Scroll
did
down.
you
Chancellor
got?
or Lowell?
It's Lowell.
Oh,
Scroll down.
Scroll down a little. Do
All
we,
right, so you got 102.
Oh, yeah. They do get paid better in Chelmsford.
Currently.
Well, there might be other things too.
This
in
is
the contract.
23. This is 2 years ago.
Yeah,
The latest,
Yeah,
this
so-
is the latest one I can find in
So we're
Lowell.
probably pretty similar.
yes.
Yeah, because we gave about, I believe, about 10%.
So Lowell's
Close
not
to
getting the
12%,
premium that
actually.
they're bragging
Oh,
about.
no, wait a
No.
minute, wait a minute. That's 2022. MA, Chelmsford is 91. What, your Lowell was 100 and something in that bottom category. So that is a $10,000
In 10.
difference.
10
right?
years.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
So the MA is
So-
89 compared to 102. Yep.
Yeah.
Big time difference.
Yeah. So there's a difference. I think a lot of teachers work in Chelmsford because it's a smaller district too.
So
I
when
think
you're looking for a job, go on the website, find out what's the salary in the town you're looking for.
schoolspring.com. That's where everybody hires from for the schools. So I think you guys use Schoolspring, right?
And some people, like, as you
but-
made the comment, some people would rather be in a suburban school department because there's less challenges with the population than there is when you get into an urban community. You don't have as much in-migration, you don't have as many problems with language. I mean, there's a whole lot of pieces that go along with that. And so when I started teaching, it was 1973, and I chose to go to a suburban community versus, and in the suburban communities, there's levels also. As far as getting jobs. A lot of people don't realize that. I don't know if it's today because that was over 50 years ago. But there's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of similarities that things have just not changed. But it's good that you had everything coming up to the beginning of the new fiscal year
Yep.
is settled.
It's all done.
It isn't always like
So
that. I think the
quickly, I
last
can't
one that
believe
I negotiated, it went, well, I mean, I ended up at the end of the negotiations, but it was 18 months.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's
So
it's
for
because of people.
In Lowell, right,
personalities.
if we have a different problem in Lowell, I think that occupation, especially a tutor that has 32 years of education, when they, so needed to teach kids how to read, though. A tutor is so important with a speech pathologist and everything else. We can't keep them because you guys pay them more, and we lose them to other towns. It's the truth.
It's true,
But
yeah.
the respect that a para, I mean, never mind what a para gets no respect. They deserve $10 an hour more right now. And I think, getting back to the tutors, they only get $40 an hour. They used to get 30. We finally seen the light and gave them 40.
Yeah.
I can go watch potholes. I've been asked if I want to do it because I was an ex-prison guard. I can put a gun on my side and they'll give me $75 an hour. People say, yeah, but the city doesn't pay for that. No, taxpayers pay for it.
Yeah.
Nothing's free.
Nothing's free.
But $75 an hour to do a pothole, and we can't give a tutor $50 an hour to come in and teach a
Right.
child to
Just a
read.
second, Bobby, what's
Yeah.
the regular pay for a cop?
Pardon me?
What's the regular pay for a cop? See, the cops were doing details.
All cops get the same
Details is different.
on detail.
Details is overtime pay.
Yeah.
What's their regular pay? That's where the rubber hits the road.
I don't know what a policeman's
That would-
regular pay is, but I know this. A teacher can't make what a prison guard makes. I didn't need no college. I made more money than a teacher did, and that's 15 years ago.
Because you have a better union.
I don't know if it's so much union, but I'm saying I don't think the occupation of being a teacher gets the respect they deserve.
They
And
have
in
a
law,
coffee
we bring a
union.
tutor in, I don't even think they get a 15-minute coffee break.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's a different world for a tutor. We need to change that in negotiations, and paras are definitely underpaid, I'm telling you. The paras in Lowell, I don't know about Chelmsford, they, in Lowell, expect to change diapers all the way to cleaning up kids that are
That's
really
part of the
sick.
but
Yeah.
that's in the contract
I
as to what
know
their
it is. I know,
responsibilities are.
but the teachers are still underpaid in my eyes. I ain't afraid to
All
say
right, so
it.
you asked about police. So in Lowell, the ranges are 62 to 75,000. The hourly rate is around $33 per
That's the
hour.
start, right?
For a patrol officer.
Yeah, and,
So the powers are making more.
oh yeah. The average salary for a police officer is $85,000 in Lowell.
And what's
And
a
it,
para?
but it depends, I gotta look that up separately.
I think
But
they can make
it
like
also
McDonald's
depends,
paras.
it depends on which site
can, but
you're
they can't
looking
work
at
3 hours a
on
day.
Google.
That's the thing with paras. One of the things about paras, I agree. I think they're definitely, we can do a lot more for paras. I think one thing people don't realize is different cities have different requirements. So like in Chelmsford, our paras, we don't require a college degree, so it doesn't pay as much. But like some towns, they require a bachelor's degree, so they get a salary kick. So, but regardless of where the paras are, they're all really good and they should be treated well. They just agree. I don't know the details of their contract off the top of my head, but they just agreed to their contract. And then to Sam, you mentioned earlier how fast the negotiation was. So one of the things about having like a mature school committee and a superintendent that's been there a long time. So I've been there for a while. Dennis has been there for a while. Susan's been there for a little while now. Maria. We have good relationships already with these union members, right? So I know the union president. I've met them before, and so there were contentious points in the, and there was a couple of points that actually people got pretty emotional. But at the end of it all, like me or Jay or somebody would say, okay, we hear you, let's go figure it out. And we would go and caucus and go work out how we're gonna make it work, and we'd
How
come
it's
back
supposed
out.
to be done.
Yeah, and then we would come back out. So 4 or 5 sessions was pretty good. I was really happy. My first contract wasn't like that. It was a very difficult union board, but this board is very supportive. I love working with them. They're great teachers too, on top of being in the union. So I was really happy.
Earlier, I heard you say something about warrants.
Yeah.
How you guys get called in.
Yeah.
To look at warrants.
Yeah.
We get a thing called permission to enter, and they give it to us when we're in the middle of a school committee meeting.
No.
To
You
sign
gotta look
them.
at it.
I used to just pass them on. I'll come in the next day because you want to
Because
see.
you've got to review them.
You gotta
Of
review 'em.
course,
You gotta
but in
review 'em.
Lowell, that's what
Take
they
it
do.
from one who knows.
During the meeting, Sam. You get them during the meeting, permission to enter.
Living through all
So
of
in other
that.
words, you're being asked essentially
Sign
to
them.
rubber stamp without reviewing.
And what they
Yeah.
do is, most of them, I've watched it for years, will just sign it, pass the book
No.
on.
No,
I
you gotta
pass
look
it
at
on
'em.
and go
That's
in the
not the
next day.
job. You're
Yeah.
supposed to review it.
Yeah.
And part of one of the steps I used to use was the date, the amount, and then you see what they've charged it to. It takes a while. It used to take me like 2 hours or more to go through and sign warrants.
Yeah, it's
And,
short now.
and then if, if I had a question, usually the business manager was there. But that last couple of years that I was on the school committee, that business manager was absent anytime we had to sign warrants, so
She
that you
was
couldn't.
absent when she was there.
Yeah,
Well,
that's true.
I'm just saying that there was a lot of stuff that didn't happen. But we did have an audit. I did ask Jay if he implemented the recommendations of the audit, and I'm still sort of waiting to find out exactly what you guys did or didn't do. Because there were policy manuals that were supposed to be established within each of the departments as far as process procedures and then policy. And I don't know if you did or didn't, and I think he said that you did, but I never heard any more. I really don't care. We spent money on an audit because we said we were going to do that. We implemented a lot of good practices because I said we were going to do that. Because, I mean, I got up, we needed so much money and got up, because you're passionate about your things. Town meeting that year, I mean, I didn't have a prepared speech. I changed votes.
Yeah.
As a result of me getting up and saying what I did. That was the goal, so that we would be able to start clean and fresh for the next year. And a lot of stuff was beyond the scope of education of the people that sat on the school committee because of the intricacy when you take a look at all the numbers.
Yeah.
Some people are better at it. Mary Franz was always excellent at that, of looking and knowing exactly what the codes were for every single thing.
Yep.
And we didn't know that they were hiding bills in drawers and all kinds of things. And then we also were not, and I asked the questions, because you're supposed to vote on any line item changes, and I was ignored to a certain extent. But there was a lot of juggling of money going back and forth all the time from one line item to another in order to be able to pay bills. And that kind of juggling of
red-
stuff
that's a red
was,
light. Yeah,
was
that's a red
not supposed to be happening. But those are things we found out after the fact,
John-
which was unfair.
I'm sorry, but when John mentioned unions, in Lowell, we had Paul Georges. You're not going to find anybody that can speak about a teacher better than him. He's been a tough negotiator.
Well, he's been doing it long enough.
Yeah, but, and even though he's near the end right now, so for teachers, you had Paul Georges. And for the taxpayer, you have Jim Hall. Jim Hall is still there. And without Jim Hall, we would have been spending millions of more dollars. You need someone to be fighting.
Got to balance it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it works out pretty good in Lowell. I don't know whatever happened to Jay Lang. 'Cause you're right. No, you're right. There's nobody I've ever
Yeah.
met in my life that knows school numbers better than Jay Lang. Nobody.
Jay's been a phenomenal addition to the district. I think, you were part of the hiring group for them, I
Oh,
believe. Yeah, you were all part of that. I think, but like you said, I think so like when we go in and talk to the union, right? Like we're negotiating on behalf of the town, the taxpayers, the school, the survivability of the school district. And if we make a crazy decision and like, we're going to give you a 666, right? Like we're going to give you whatever you want, it would absolutely crush the numbers in a way that is non-recoverable, right? And you could damage your school. So after you guys, I think so I've actually lived through some of the changes you made. So like now we do regular audits every year from an external perspective. We have actual external audit company come in and they look through our books and they tell us if we've made any mistakes. We have the warrant signing, which we have 3 people look at it. The town accountant looks at it now. So even though there was a mistake there, right, it's what you do after as a town to fix those things. And when I came on, it was rock solid. It was like there's no ins and outs or ways you can hide money in a drawer because we're going to have multiple people look at it all the time.
Right,
John,
the accountability
Who
increased.
feeds your children in the Chelmsford school system?
What?
Do you have a vendor that feeds
No, we
the
have
children?
our own
No, you got a
kitchen.
food service.
We have food service.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
have-
have a really good food
You
service.
make your own food?
Yeah, we make some of
At
our
the
food.
high school?
Yeah, at the high
Oh, I
school.
love-
Not
I
all
love
of them.
that.
No,
But yeah.
but you do have, well, it's in reverse. The elementary schools, and I don't know if one of the middle schools is satellites, and there's a lot of, there used to be.
We just did one of the kitchens, McCarthy.
You did the high school over, which
High
was
school.
unbelievable.
Yep.
And then you have McCarthy. They're not doing anything with Parker yet.
Yep.
And then they did some renovations with the elementary schools so that you would be able to have the accommodations to make sure that everything was hot.
So we can serve food in those places. too.
Yes.
That's kind of.
So instead of having individual kitchens
Yeah.
heating up frozen food, you have, it's a little better. I don't know how much better. And then because of the finances, you're also delivering breakfast.
Yeah.
And they're not being charged. So I thought that was interesting. We'll see if we're going to go back to everything being charged. I don't know if those funds are drying up. Do you know?
I don't. I think the state is pretty well committed, though, to this
Oh,
path
yeah.
of paying for the kids' food. I agree with it. I think one of the things that did for me at the end of the year is The thing about the food service programs, and at least in Chelmsford, I don't want to speak for anybody else, ours is self-funded, right? So like ours pays for itself through the revenue when they were selling stuff. And they still sell things. They sell a la carte. They only get a free lunch. They don't get everything for free. So they still bring in income. So I think the food services, I forgot where I was going there. I lost my train of thought.
Well, it's okay, so with,
paying for the
I don't know
food?
what your train of thought was, but I will
funding
pick
of
up
the-
from there.
Oh, yeah, the
that-
funding, that's what it was. But I'm sorry, let me finish the point. But at the end of the year, maybe we have like, overdue bills, and people should pay for their food, right? And you should. The thing is, there comes a point where you're trying to collect money, and it's costing you more to collect the money than the money you're gonna get. So because they were self-funded, you might have done this too. At the end of the year, we would go up and settle up those accounts. They would make reasonable attempts to get the money, and if somebody couldn't get it, but it doesn't actually cost the taxpayers money, it costs the food service people money, and they make their revenue through payments.
So what I was going to
They
say,
make their
which has to do
revenue
with
through-
I
funding,
just wanted to finish it, thank you.
They make their revenue through who?
They make their revenue from like selling milk or, all the products they sell to kids. So
Because-
outside of the free meal, they have à la carte, so people pay for that. They don't get the free everything for free.
and some kids still will bring lunches just because
Yeah.
of allergies.
Yeah.
One of the other the things that happens with food services is that if there are events, they will charge either the account, the
Yep.
line item, or the person that is organizing the event for whatever food that they have. And if you had, like, if there was something that the school committee happened to have and you wanted to have coffee and you wanted to have a cake and you wanted to have something else, then the school committee line item would be charged and that money goes to food services. So they do catering as a side venture within the school system.
They're incredible. They're really good. Our food services people are great. The past few years too, they brought in a lot of healthier food, so they've been bringing in salads, more fruit, more like less frozen stuff.
Yeah. And
There's
I
been a
always-
real push for better food.
And I always wanted them to be able to offer the Chelmsford Public Schools a wedding venue, because there are people, you would be able to rent out your facility, if you had teachers, if you had somebody that graduated, somebody that was impacted by it, and then they would do the catering, but the only sticking point with that is a lot of people want alcohol, and you can't have the alcohol on school property.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that's still a
Yeah, that's still.
law.
Yeah.
So, but that was something that
Policy,
we
it's
did
a law, it's all
we
the
took a
things.
look at
Can I
that.
smoke marijuana?
No, you can't, you're not supposed to be
Only
smoking
the
on
kids
property
in
either.
middle school. can.
Only kids in sixth grade.
Do the
No,
bacon.
I don't know. No, that's the thing I think people have challenges with today, right? Like, so no, you can't smoke marijuana in the schools. It's not allowed on the property. It's against all.
So no booze and no
Can't
no
smoke
pot.
anything.
Okay.
However,
Good plan.
in the modern era, there are vapes. And so we actually have vape detectors like in the high school now. So I didn't, this is like a thing I didn't know. Somebody told me about it. They're like, yeah, we have vape detectors. So if somebody goes in, but you can get away with doing a lot of that stuff because it's not like cigarettes that used to smell. But like if you wanted to smoke nicotine out of a vape, there were a lot of kids that were doing that. We have a big, not so much a big problem. We had a problem with it for a while, and I haven't heard much about it lately. But yeah, those vapes are really addictive, and they're easy to hide.
And they're also bad for your brains.
And they're bad for your brain. They're bad for everything.
Yeah.
But
And that's
like-
why Chelmsford's so good, though. I mean, look at what yous do. You separate the 5th and 6th from the 7th and 8th.
Yeah.
When
But
I'm-
that was an excellent
When I want to
move.
bring that up in
Always
low, they
wanted
say,
it.
oh, we can't do that.
Yeah.
We can't do it.
But
Well, we
don't call
tried.
it junior high.
No, we
not.
only have 29
I
schools.
got scolded by the superintendent for that.
Yeah, you can't call it junior high. It's a whole
I said,
different
I'm sorry, I'm 78, it's junior high, okay?
And by the way, feeding children, if you
Right.
go back, it's been a while since I've been on the school committee. We gave away, under Joe Boyd's tutelage, when he was a superintendent, a million free meals. I used to sit right behind the Rogers School and watch it. From New Hampshire, Maine, cars would come in and we'd give them all kinds of lunches in the window. A million free. That was during the COVID years.
Oh, yeah, we
Okay,
do.
here's
That's when you started
here's where
doing
the
a lot
rubber
of-
hits
That's
the
what you
road.
started, right?
Yeah.
How many kids stayed back in Chelmsford this year?
Not.
You wouldn't have the
I don't.
numbers.
I don't
Very
have
few, I would
it-
guess.
I
So,
can't even. I don't.
This problem of a little kiddo who can't read is a growing problem. Every kiddo in the 3rd grade went to 4th grade. Every kiddo in the 4th grade went to 5th grade.
Yeah.
Whether you could read or not.
Some of us,
I don't
and
think
some of us almost made it through
It's
the whole
only,
12 years.
the only time that we
Just
had,
ask Jay Lang how many stayed back in the 3rd grade. And can they all read?
And
well,
you gotta
there's more
remember-
to it than that, because
No,
there's,
no, I
well, there is
only care
more.
Oh,
about
there's a
the
lot more to
reading.
that.
There's a lot more
I
to
only
it in
care-
terms of what they can't do and why they should be
Evelyn,
staying
We
back.
can both talk at the same time, people just change the channel. The thing is, they can't
They
read.
like it though. But I don't know about the reading part of it. I know that when
Well, let's find out. Next
When I
time Jay
was-
comes, we'll ask him.
yeah, and so one of the things though that
We assess kids all the way through.
you try.
We do, no, I
There's
know, we
very-
do pretty
my
well.
understanding-
But the thing is we assess the kids all the way through, and there are other, I think you're right, there are other scenarios, right? What if the kid has special needs, right? Like, what if they're dyslexic, but we
Yeah.
have programs for these things to help. I think some people, not all kids develop at the same time. I don't think we have kids going into the 4th grade that can't read, but we could ask Jay if we have anybody staying back.
And then the question is how do you measure that? But one of the programs when my kids went through was called Readiness. I thought it was the best thing that ever happened. You had kids that came out of kindergarten that weren't quite ready for, that's why it was called Readiness, 1st grade. They were going to
forgot it,
1st grade.
Readiness.
There was a very low number in there. By the time they left the Readiness program in 1st grade, they went to 2nd grade. So there was a different, I think, that's the way it worked. It was different. They also had a gifted and talented program when Glenn Junior went through, and they did away with that. So, and a lot of people would define the gifted and talented as AP, but that's at a high school level, not at a lower grade.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of pros and cons and different things that that people would like to see happen, but there's a cost to that and a space issue.
Yeah.
Because you have to have a place, because those kids were meeting under the staircases
Evelyn,
when they
the
had the
last
gifted and
time I
talented.
checked, the government couldn't care less how much things cost because it's coming out of my pocket. I want every kid to be able to read,
It's fair.
and that's all I'm saying.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I think it's fair. I
Right.
want every kid to read too, so I think we all agree there.
Right, but when you take a look and you say that, it's up to the government, well, our budget in Chelmsford, just like in Lowell, is local, and they only have so much money that they can spend. And you can say,
Well, let's fire a few how many administrators do you have in Chelmsford? 'Cause
I
we
don't
have
know,
over-
but we did this number
we
once
have
before.
over 100 in
Yes,
Lowell.
but we don't have that, so.
Let's fire half of them.
And it depends on how you define it, because we have an administrator's contract, and that administrator's contract covers a wide range of individuals that also will teach, that also do programming, and they do grant writing, and there's a whole lot of other things in their job description. So that being stated, so that we don't run out of time, the next topic is your nonprofit.
Okay.
And you did put.
Well, wait a second, I got a
You want to do your announcements?
audience, no, we're not gonna, all I have is lunches, and we're not gonna do the lunches today.
Oh, good.
What the?
We're not taking a break.
Your favorite thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put these lunches up if it makes you happy, John. Chelmsford teachers required to teach DEI.
No.
Thank you. Okay, now go on to whatever topic you want, John.
Oh, gee, thank you.
She's the host. I'm just here. Yeah, we could definitely talk about Mass Ave. There's been some good updates. There's some tough updates, but good updates.
Yes,
We could talk
I sent,
Yeah.
John, I sent via Messenger, an attachment, that they got an award,
There you go.
so that you can
send me
speak
on
to that. I
Facebook
put it
this
up
about.
there
Yeah,
for them.
absolutely.
I actually saw that.
I'm
yes.
I'm trying to,
Congratulations.
keep on top of all of the different
On
things.
Facebook this morning, or?
No, it wasn't this morning, it was the other day.
Couple of days ago.
It's from me. It's a
I
picture.
understand, Evelyn, but you send me messages on Facebook and Messenger.
If this is the message goes through
Maha
Messenger,
wins, M-A,
the one above that, I think.
It should be a photo, I think.
Yeah, it's a photo
There
of a
is.
poster. I'll tell you the date.
no, it's okay. It's-
I mean, I can just talk about it too.
Yeah, start talking about it, and he'll put it up when he finds it.
Yeah. So the
Thank you.
Boston Foundation.
Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's us. That's us. Yay! So we were really fortunate this year. I applied for a grant for Massachusetts Afghan Alliance, and we were awarded from the Boston Foundation. And this is specifically Asian Community Fund, which helps like Southwest Asian AAPI really. So Asian Pacific Islanders, all the people that my grant will cover. And so we got $5,000, which I'm really
see
stoked
it.
about. I'm really thrilled with it. And
Good money.
it is good money. And so this is an operational grant. So for people that, if you have a nonprofit, operational means I can use the money for day-to-day expenses, but I'm going to use a chunk of that money, a big chunk of that money for some events. So we're going to do some local events. We're going to do a little bit more private, less public, big showy events. But we're going to have Afghan communities, Southwest Asian communities, AAPI, elected officials. We're going to do some really good events this year coming up, and I'm just really thrilled. It shows a lot of belief in the work we're doing. So I think I'm just happy to have it, and I am super grateful and can't wait to do good things with it.
So that's from the Asian community. John, that was on Tuesday I sent it.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to read what you have currently up on the screen because
I think
all the
they see it,
printing
though.
below it is not,
Well, now it sends me off to Instagram, and we might have some naked people come up, we don't know.
No, you won't. Not on Mass Afghan, you won't.
I understand, but sometimes when you click a link, an ad comes up for underwear.
So this is all positive. Really happy about it. Grant money's been a big part of Mass Afghan in this community specifically. There's a lot of Southwest Asian, API community here. We all, Cambodians, Vietnamese, and the Afghans are part of that community. And a lot of people don't realize that Persians and specifically Afghanistan is an Asian country. It's not part of the Middle East.
Right.
And so it's really great to see the AAPI community accept and work with Afghan communities and welcome them into their circle. I've been really grateful for that, especially a lot of them have refugee kind of backgrounds. So you have Cambodians that have refugee backgrounds, Vietnamese, all those kinds of people. So there's a real shared history. And I'm going to do good things with the money. I'm going to make sure my people are safe, just do the work to get more people that don't know Afghans. So like a lot of your viewers don't know Afghans. I would love to get more people out in the public to meet Afghans and understand why veterans love them. So you'll see stuff in Chelmsford. We're going to expand it out into different towns. We're going to find other towns to host in. And yeah, that's it. $5,000. And then I'm applying. And then today I'm going to go home.
Sam, read this one.
Schools should not be giving kids
that thought.
credit cards to pay for lunch. They should go back to paying so they learn about the value of money.
they don't learn about the value of money through paying for lunch because it's the parents that do it.
Right.
So,
Let me just push back on that, okay? I'm going to ask this gal, because I know it's a woman. Does your kid pay to go to the fridge? Does your kid pay to go to the cupboard and pull out a treat? Does your kid pay every time he goes to the fruit bowl?
Mine does. I'm just kidding.
Consider that.
I'm just kidding. My kid doesn't pay for food.
That's a good system. I like that.
John, how much time did you do in Afghanistan?
I just spent 1 year in Afghanistan. I was fortunate, though. I got picked out of my battalion to go to the embassy, so it was a little bit different for me. So I was supposed to go out to a different base, and then they needed somebody to go to the embassy to do. So that time during the war, everything that moved into Afghanistan was either in the air, and that was like ammo and really sensitive equipment, or it went over the ground. And so I was at the embassy to make sure all of that cargo could pass through Afghan customs, which was just brutal. So I flew all over that country. I flew to the gate. I got to see Mazar Sharif. I got to go out to southern Afghanistan. But yeah, I spent a year there in the embassy. A lot of it on the road. Good half of it on the road, half on the embassy. But it was a great opportunity. And as a new E7 Sergeant First Class, which is like a senior NCO rank, to get picked up for something that was a real honor. And that's why I ended up so close with Afghans, because I was constantly around. They all work in the embassy, or I was out working with Afghans in the communities. So. But yeah, it was a year.
So the ones you're trying to help, are those mostly the percentage of the ones that helped us?
Yeah.
They were on our side type of thing?
A lot of them.
yeah, he's not helping the people that aren't on our side.
Well, I mean, how does he know who's on the side? and who
Yeah,
isn't?
no, it's a
But-
great question too. No, it's an absolutely great question. So the kinds of people, most of the families I've helped are called special immigrant visas. So those are your interpreters, right? Those are the people that directly help the United States. I also help families that had cases like, so we have a woman that was a woman instructor, but she's from not Jalalabad. She's from Kandahar. She's from southern Afghanistan, where the Taliban are from. So she's Pashtun. She's from that tribe. But she was an educator, right? So she was an educator during the 20-something years America was there. She got a college degree. She got an advanced degree. She became a professor in Afghanistan as a woman. And so when the country collapsed, because she's Pashtun, she's of the Taliban tribe, her and her husband and her kids, including one disabled son, were run out of the country like in fear of their lives. So that's a family we helped, right? So we took care of them in Pakistan for a few years. And how we found her is she appealed to us, and we went through her records, and we looked through that. She had to go through all the security, that's why it takes so long, right? So it took years to get through the security processes, and then we helped pay for their rent when they got here. But we help everything from SIVs, interpreters, sometimes they're professors, sometimes they're, democracy, people that are trying to like make changes in Afghanistan, which is really tough right now. But most of the people, 99% of the people we help were SIVs, special immigrant visas, like just people that directly help us. But there are a few different types of people we can help.
I just want to throw one more idea
Yeah.
in your head. My sister's having a Halloween party coming up. It's like her third or fourth one at the Princeton Station in Chelmsford.
Yeah.
And it's a few months away from now. But they charge like $65 to get in. It's
Yeah.
a great time, but it's a good way to raise money for a nonprofit.
Yep.
Just to throw that out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that advertisement was on Facebook also, but I didn't, it was so far out in the future, I did not
Yeah,
send that
Project
to.
Compass, yeah.
Yes, I didn't send that to John.
Yeah.
Now, you did tag Sam and myself on an article, and
I
you said
did.
you would discuss it, and because you did put it out on Facebook, and other people may have want to tune in and listen to
Yeah.
what this discussion is, I felt as though we should actually have that conversation.
Yeah.
Whether we agree or we don't agree, that's irrelevant currently. So, the article that you sent,
He just got out today, too.
yes,
Yeah.
I've been following it,
Me too. Of course I would follow.
because I wanted to know, and I also have some opinions about some other things, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. However, there was a U.S. citizen that was detained in some of the ICE raids that was in L.A. I don't believe that the guy was treated very well. However, we don't wear a sign on us that states approved by the U.S. government or U.S. citizen. So you don't know who it is that's out there, and if people are throwing rocks and shooting guns at you, you don't know what you're going to get.
I want to pause there. He wasn't throwing, he was working.
I understand that he
Okay.
was,
All right,
yes.
well, that's what we're-
I am not saying that he was doing any of that. I'm saying they don't know what they're going to get when they encounter any of these people, simply because of what the pushback has been. So that puts them on the defensive many times on what's going on. That's how I looked at some of the events that's occurring. So the person, and I think there was another one, U.S. citizen that was involved in that, and they were let go eventually when they were cleared. This is a common occurrence, from what I gather, that they do scoop up whoever it is that's there, whether they're U.S. citizens or not, and they then screen them all, and then they let them all go, because I don't know how they'd screen them
Have
in
you
the
called Roy
process.
Mr. about this?
I'm not calling anybody, because I can't change it,
That's
no
what's
matter who
going
I
on.
call in
See, it's the same
Massachusetts.
thing happened in World War II. World War II, when they started to take away the first group of the people that the Nazis took away, nobody said anything. Oh, I don't care about those people. The heck with the gypsies, I don't let them go.
I understand how this went.
When they came around for the Jews, nobody said anything.
I
We have to
Who's on
back back
camera?
to our government. Call this cell phone.
Sorry.
So I have spoken to elected officials. So I think the thing is we do wear something because we're American. This is why we had this argument. Before I actually even start, I do want to say, I think we're all friends here, and I really respect you guys a lot. One of the reasons I come on your show, John, is because I do know that Trump supporters watch you. I know there are people that don't probably agree with me on a lot of this stuff, but I do appreciate John giving me a place to talk about it, even if they don't agree. And so I appreciate Trump supporters. One of the things I heard during the election is we didn't hear you, and I absolutely agree with you. I'm not a huge fan of how Democrats treated people either. And so thank you for letting me come on the show and talk about Afghans. The reason I talk about Afghans and this stuff is because it's local, and I'm from the neighborhood, like I grew up in Lowell, and I feel like maybe I can give you a different viewpoint. So as it goes with American citizens, this is why when we talk about things like due process, the government, you can't detain an American citizen without cause. And that's a grievous injury, even on accident, right? Because he's going to sue now and all that stuff, which I don't think is appropriate. But my thing is if the government standards are, we're just going to scoop up 150 people and not know their names and sort it out later, that is a grievous injury to any American citizen that gets held up in something like that. Because you cannot be detained in America as an American without some kind of crime. And so let me just finish. So my concern here is about the American citizens. One, how many American citizens being held up for 3-4 days? One guy was held up for 2 weeks until we ask for improvements in identifying, because that's what I'm really asking for. Stop arresting Americans for now. Let's figure that out. And then, but I just think we have to understand that we can hold our government accountable to be like, hey, can you stop with the citizens? And that guy was a veteran, and they don't know he's a veteran. They don't know he's a citizen. But if a police officer comes up to me and says anything, and I haven't committed a crime, there's no compulsion to do it. There was a right given to us by the founders.
Right, and I agree with you
Yeah.
there. But they have warrants for certain individuals that they go in, and because of you can't screen them there because you're being pelted with everything.
Well, they were on the farm, they weren't being pelted with anything. They
Well,
were,
you had
keep
them-
saying the pelted thing, but like on that farm, there was 3 farms too. I love that everybody caught on the marijuana farm. There was also a tomato farm and like a lettuce farm.
Yeah, and it's not just California. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
bunch of stuff. I think that there's some delineation here, and one is that my understanding was that we were trying to figure out where the people who were in this country illegally that came across the border in the past 4 years, not the people that have been here for 25 or 30
Oh,
years.
they're getting those too.
No, I know that. Well, that's why I'm making the statement.
Yeah.
But the concern that I have is the people that have been here 25 or 30 years, why they didn't apply for something in order
So you
to
mean like a green
maintain. Some of them do have green cards.
Yeah.
But not everybody does.
Just an example.
Yeah,
Well,
and-
I can give you, I know people that have green cards, I can tell you why. I mean, it's a benefit to the United States. Green cards are, like they have them in Canada too, right? So green cards are typically only given to very qualified people, right? So the people that have a college degree, because it's an invite only, right? So for the United States, if you're going out and saying, hey, come live in America, give us your skills, give us your stuff, you don't have to become a citizen, but we'll benefit from you, pay taxes, you do all the same thing.
Who's talking here? Who's telling them you don't have to become a citizen? Who's telling them that?
They don't have to become a citizen.
Who's telling them that? You're
So-
saying like somebody is telling them that.
You don't have to go become a citizen.
If you have a green
No, no, my
card.
If you have a
question,
green
John,
card.
I know the
That's what he's
facts, I
saying
know
then.
the facts.
Okay.
Yeah.
But who's telling them that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not the one telling them that. What I'm telling you is, if you go to India and you find an incredibly talented AI engineer that you don't have in the United States, we'll give you a green card because we want your skills and we can pay, a company.
Well, that's the way it used to be, but didn't, let me think now. About 6 years ago, didn't they stop doing stuff like that? And that's why we had issues
Yeah, they messed up with that.
in this country because we didn't get the appropriate people for medical
We're going to go
assistance
to
from
light
other
and
countries.
fluffy. I'm going to give John 60 seconds to make his point, then we're going to go to light and fluffy.
Go light and fluffy? Okay, yeah, so I think, to your question though, so another example of a green card, somebody might have parents in India, right, or, wherever, and to travel back to those countries is very difficult with an American passport, so sometimes the families won't get the citizenship. But I do know people that had green cards for 20 years, and they were like, you know what, I do want to become a citizen. I've been here a long time. Sometimes it just takes people a little bit longer to figure it out. I think, I don't love that we're going after green card holders. You guys know.
No,
my
I don't
position.
either.
Yeah, so.
I think, but my understanding was we're going to try to find the people that came in over the past
Yeah.
4 years. And there's a lot of that is happening. But because of a lot of the pushback that you now have in sanctuary cities and things, and it's becoming more difficult, they're looking for low-hanging fruit. I don't like that, but I understand why certain things are occurring with regard to that.
Being a member in the
So
service.
backing the bus up a little bit.
Okay, let's back it up.
Elementary kids will learn how to count money. Some high school kids work and they pay for their own
Yeah.
milk and extras.
They're in high school.
Absolutely fantastic. So
Yeah.
John, the burning question to you is,
Let's have it.
what do you put on your hot dog?
Ooh, I love this question. I was hoping you were going to ask me. So I'm variable on hot dogs. I usually am a ketchup mustard guy, but sometimes I'll do mustard and relish. I love mustard relish. Sometimes onions.
Have you
can't
tried
eat the
piccalilli?
I love, yeah. I've tried.
What's the
Have
difference
you
between
made pickle-
piccalilli and
It's got
relish?
the.
Oh, it's
peppers.
different.
It's got like peppers in it.
It's got green tomatoes.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Piccalilli.
Yes.
Yes.
Piccalilli,
yes.
oh.
I
yeah.
can tell you how to make it,
I'm not,
No, just Howard makes good stuff.
and it's sweeter.
I'd rather just open the
But
bottle.
no, we got another burning question for John.
Let's do it.
What do you put on a cheeseburger?
Cheeseburger, that's a good one. I will do, I am a big fan of ketchup, mustard, and mayo on a cheeseburger when I put pepper on it at the end like you do. Like-
Mayo, interesting.
Yeah. I like mayo.
Mayo is good on a hamburger.
Yeah, adds a little bit of fat, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, more
Yeah.
fat.
Now, I'm going to go around the room here just for
Yeah,
a brief answer. Evelyn,
Yeah, I never have a brief answer.
neither does John, but that's okay.
I only come once a month, John.
I understand. Favorite, recent good restaurant you've visited? I don't care where, but just recent good restaurant
Oh,
you've gone
there's
to.
I don't remember the name. There's a brand-new Mexican restaurant that's in Rochester, New Hampshire. It's on Route 11. Okay, it's next to like the Market Basket. I forget what the name of the mall is. I'll look it up. I'll send you a picture. But it's a brand-new Mexican restaurant, and we went in there. I gave in. So, I mean, I can eat a quesadilla, but normally the spicy stuff doesn't set well, and I can't do cilantro. So I had a quesadilla. Glenn had tacos. We ordered the meal. It came out within 10 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes, if that. I mean, it was almost like I took a sip of water and I had my meal in front of me. I understand how
Yeah,
they
they're
can do
fast.
that. They were very fast, and it looked like there were a lot of people there. There's a Mexican little diner thing across the street on the other side, but this is brand new. It's where Pepper's Landing used to be, and that's the newest restaurant we went. If you want to have a great lobster roll, there's a place called Pop's Clamshell in Alton Bay,
How much?
27. It looks like it's got like 2 lobsters in it. I'll take a picture and send it to you when we go.
Well, you can save the trip.
Send that to John Curley.
$33 for a lobster roll at the Chelmsford Creamery.
Oh, I'll have to try it.
Out of this world. So
Now, do you have,
moving on to John now.
do you
We
have
time to
mayo or
stop.
butter?
I don't eat it at all. My granddaughter loves it.
What does
So-
she have, mayo or butter?
I don't pay attention to that stuff. John, recent excellent restaurant.
My wife and I actually went to Fucci's yesterday in Westford. So it's on 110, the big Cornerstone Plaza. If you were to take a right and you go down 110, it's across the street from the Taekwondo Academy in Westford. Or it might be Westford or Littleton. I don't know. It's on 110.
Yeah.
I don't know where each town begins. But so anyway, Fucci's, it's a sushi restaurant / Chinese restaurant. So you can get either like Americanized Chinese or you can get sushi. They have really good drinks. They had a really lovely white Mai Tai, which I enjoyed. And it's in Westford. So hopefully they get a couple of,
What's
if you
a-
go in, say John Moses from Chelmsford sent you, and they won't know who I am.
John Moses drinking in the middle of the week. Okay, that's fine.
What is a white?
It's true.
Bobby's coming up next. So
Well,
Bobby,
you had your bourbon or whatever it was in one of the pictures that
There
you
you
took
go.
on Facebook. Is it bourbon?
That's bourbon, yeah. That's
Okay.
Bourbon in that glass, yeah.
What brand do you like of bourbon?
That particular one. I
Go
think
ahead,
it's
title
Eagle
on the
Trace.
mic.
Eagle Trace.
Yes, Glenn likes that.
Yeah.
Bobby, recent restaurant that
I
you've
don't.
enjoyed.
The best, my favorite's Ralphie's on 28 in Salem, New Hampshire.
There you go.
Ralphie's for chicken parm. That's what I love.
I love chicken
Oh, I should make you
They
some.
have the best.
Gigantic portions at Ralphie's.
Yeah.
Oh my God, over the top good
Chicken
stuff.
parm's my staple food. I always try.
Anything you want to say
Thank you,
before we run out of time, Bobby?
Yeah, there's just one thing. Can you bring up John Moses' website so people can see where they could donate? Maybe my sister Ronnie that
Well,
has
before I go over there.
Project Compass
I'll
in
leave this guy
Chelmsford
here.
might help you
Tomorrow,
out.
City Life's going to have, Cliff's going to be here.
Ooh,
Cliff Krieger,
Regina.
Eileen
Haven't heard
Del
from
Rossi,
her in a while.
Dennis Galvin,
Dennis Galvin.
retired state trooper, good guy, and Regina
a good guy.
Fanicati. We're going to talk law enforcement tomorrow. You want to go to Facebook now?
Yeah.
And don't forget, you got to
Just go to
ask Sam.
massafghanalliance.org.
Yeah, while you're doing that, Sam can tell us the.
Mass Afghan, whatever,
Oh, he
okay.
doesn't care about me.
You don't have to pull up.
Sam,
We'll get it to you next time.
Sam,
So-
give us your restaurant.
New restaurant in Chelmsford, the Smokehouse.
Oh, I haven't been yet.
Where is
Perhaps,
it? Where is it?
It's
Summer Plaza.
It's in the Summer Plaza where the
That's
old.
no help to me.
Center of town. Okay, the old Stop and Shop Plaza.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you, there's a gym there or
And
something.
it used to be on Diamo's, now it's Smokehouse.
I could try that out.
It's I'm telling you, it's absolutely outstanding.
Do they have good white Mai Tais?
I
What's a
don't
white
know.
Mai Tai?
It's they use clear rum versus they just change out the dark rum versus
Yeah.
clear. Yeah.
Good
Oh,
for
okay,
you.
gotcha.
light
Oh,
yeah.
that's what they specialize in is ribs. It's just absolutely,
Out of there? Yeah, I'll try that.
absolutely, yeah, try that, please.
You gotta have
try
ribs
it.
with the beer anyway. That's how that works.
That's right.
That's
That's
right.
right.
That's the right answer.
Anybody else have a comment? Because I got a question for the audience.
Okay,
for
question from the audience.
It's directed to John now.
Yeah,
Why would
sure.
it be hard to travel to India with a U.S. passport?
I made that. India. I don't know the countries. Some countries are harder to get into than
India
others.
is hard to get into.
Yeah, it's so when you have an Indian passport, it's way easy to travel with India. That's what I was told by the person that went. So I just know that some countries are more difficult to travel to in America.
Yep.
Like if you have family in Afghanistan, if you have an American passport, you can't go to Afghanistan, right? Like although nobody's going back, but that's just kind of like a. It just depends on the circumstance, I guess, is the way to look at it.
And every-
like UK is super easy to go in.
Have you been to India?
I've never been to India.
Okay, my sister goes to India all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of her colleagues work there, so she
Yeah.
flies over there like 4 times a year. Never any trouble.
Yeah, I don't. Again, I've never had a green card. This is what I'm just relaying.
And
with
right
people.
now, she travels with a case of water. She brings her own
Oh
water.
yeah, I do.
You have to.
Yeah, I might go to Pakistan this year. I'm looking at a Pakistan trip to go see some families over there. So Pakistan will be unique. I'd have to bring a guide. I'd love it though. So
Do you get any information from your colleague Maria Santos? Does she help you here and there?
oh, Maria Santos is a wonderful human being. So I hope she's watching. She has helped me with so many families, with reunification families. She's been helping with the local families. I mean, she donates her time to me. And I know how valuable her time is, so she's just lovely, and she's on the school committee with me, that she can do, she's one of my favorites,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. She's a great person.
Yeah, she does a lot of work. And she does a lot of pro bono work. So, we only have like a couple of minutes left. Is there anything, well, we have 1 minute left. Okay, we got a minute left, before we get cut off. Is there anything
The
anybody?
computer shuts us off.
Is there anything that we talked about that we just need a follow-up on, like, real quick? No. All right, so what I'd like to do the next time that you come is to continue to have some discussion on the topic of what's going on with immigration within the country, because there's a lot of different
Yeah.
things that's in my head that we didn't have enough time.
Yeah, for sure.
And different questions and things. I think that one of the biggest issues I have are all the undocumented minors and all of the children that they don't seem to know what happened to. I think that if they knew how to trace better,
What I'd like
they would
John to
find
research-
more of them.
For next visit, John, is
Yeah,
if they pick me up, who do I call? They pick
Great.
up some, if ICE picks up somebody you love,
yeah,
who do you call?
absolutely. Yes, I will come back on the next show and talk about that.
Thank
for
you.
sure. Yes.
Yeah, and we have some other.
Congratulations on your grant there,
Oh, yeah, that
5,000.
was really good for you.
Congratulations.
I'm really
Yeah,
happy.
yeah. So, and I will also end with, even though there's a lot of people that voted for the current administration, they may not agree with everything, but they still like what's going on. Bye, everybody. Stay safe. Have a great day.
Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.